Welcome back to another episode of the Elevated Audio Podcast. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
At least a few weeks.
Yeah, well, it was due to a very special occasion. Congrats, Audio, on a new baby, man.
Yes, sir.
That is truly a blessing. Maybe one day when I'm responsible enough, I'll have a child.
No one ever said that I'm responsible.
Well, now you gotta be.
Now I have to at least be at least 5% responsible.
Yeah.
No, but it's we're very blessed, and she's beautiful and perfect, and we're very happy. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And on our return, we got a special guest, my man, SplitSoul.
What up, y'all?
Split?
Pleasure to be here on the Elevated Audio Podcast with y'all boys.
Yeah, you already know, man. I think we met through you, right? I think we met through us.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did actually. I think we kind of. I don't even know if we put this on an episode, but I know we had this conversation kind of recently. Me and you, Raj. Where because I think me and Ben phrases set up that terminology show, and Split just like cold called me, like, hey man, I really want to get on this terminology show, man. I opened up for KRS and I opened up for Mob Deep and I opened up for blah, blah, blah. He's like, you gotta let me get on this show. He didn't say you gotta, but he was like, I would really like the opportunity. He was actually pretty professional about it. He's like, I'd really like the opportunity to do it, and so I was like, all right, cool. I don't know the SplitSoul guy.
That's what I really respect about you, Split. Like you're assertive, but you're professional at the same time. So that's why a lot of the opportunities you've gotten is from that, be like
Sure.
going to get it, asserting yourself, and just being professional with it. You know.
You got to, man. It's a dog-eat-dog world, man, especially in this music biz. Everybody and their mother's doing this. So it's like, got to try to figure out a way to do something different than what everybody else is doing, you know what I'm saying, in order to find avenues. And that's kind of what I did.
And
it worked out.
And I was going to say, like, to that same note, like you said, it's a dog-eat-dog world, but even in that same event, right, I end up booking you, not really knowing you, right? And then I'm here trying to, like, fill out. Raj, you were on that show, right? Didn't we book you on that show too?
Terminology? Nah, I never opened up for term.
Oh, it was the next show after that. It was the next show after that. We were looking for artists, and I asked Split, like, hey, do you know anyone that you vouch for, And so he recommended you. So I mean, now I've known you for what, like 4 years now or something. So
yeah, time flies, man. In this hip hop world, is just Orlando's so small. I mean, cats that I never heard of before, but like other than that, like everybody out here, especially in the underground hip hop scene.
Exactly, and it feels like that particular scene is not. I'm not saying Orlando, but like underground hip hop is a much smaller scene. Because unfortunately, what we do is kind of niche at this point, but it's cool. I mean,
yeah,
man,
I love it. So what we talking about today, fellas?
It's kind of funny that we just it's ironic that we started talking about like how we met because it was through a show. So we're literally going to talk about the best and worst shows we've ever been like on or like associated with or whatever. So it's kind of
basically talking about what we were just talking about. So
basically, yeah.
I had to mess up the flow.
It's all good. It's all good.
When we're ready to talk about
it was just the right segue,
Yeah, so we'll start with you, Split, since you're a special guest, man. What was the worst show that you ever played or was about to play?
Man, I got a couple, but like I really want to speak.
I'm sorry. Or it could just be. It doesn't have to be like the worst show necessarily, but maybe just like it was the worst experience as part of the show. I mean, or you could do both. Whatever.
What's crazy is like because literally like what you just said right now was kind of like what I was gonna. The show was actually a good show, but the experience itself was actually what I was gonna speak on. And I mean I've had some shitty shows. I mean that Mobb Deep, was out that a little later, but this show specifically, man, I went to Cali and they were like, the dude was like, "Look, man, if you get yourself out here, you'll play in front of 600-700 people." I was like, I believed him because I seen the show that he had last year. So I was like, all right, cool. All I got to do is get myself out there. So I invested in myself to get out there. It cost me about $1,000 the whole trip. And man, I got out there and got treated like a local bottom feeder, bro. Like they put me on. I was supposed to go on at midnight, and they skipped my set. The locals skipped my set. They just kept going. They went longer than they were supposed to. So by the time I was supposed to go, there was a DJ supposed to spin. He got into it with me. So it was just a crazy experience. Like I traveled 3,000 miles to get across the country to go perform in front of 600-700 people that you promised me. Spent almost $1,000 to do this, and I did it. I played in front of like 40 people, even though those 600 people were there. They were just all. They had 2 rooms. They had in the back. They had a EDM room, and then they had the hip hop room. And the EDM music was just drowning out the hip hop room. Like you couldn't even hear me up there. Like none of that acts. They really didn't care about hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they kind of like, I just felt super disrespected, man. I traveled 3,000 miles over here. I was winging it. Spent money to come out here. I was investing in myself, thinking it was gonna work out, and it should have, but it didn't work out. So I gotta say that's possibly the worst experience I had. I had to walk back, like, because I spent all the money thinking I was gonna make money off of merch. You know what I'm saying? All that. Like, I was living check to check at the time. I spent all the money I had at the time thinking I was gonna make money off of merch. I didn't make a dime. I had to walk back like 15 miles from when I was in San Jose. I had to walk like 15 miles. It was one of the worst experiences I ever had in my life. And like, I literally was thinking about quitting. And that shit never crossed my mind before. But I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Is this why I'm doing this shit? Like, I could have stayed home in Orlando and opened up for.
There was another show at that same time. I remember.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Twisted, the Twisted Insane show, or ICP, one of the two. And that shit was sold out. I could have stayed home, spent $40 for the night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you wouldn't even have spent $40 for the night. You would have moved your merch. You know.
Well, I would have sold the tickets. I would have made money off of the tickets. I would have moved some merch. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about like in general. I probably would have spent a couple dollars at the bar. You know, maybe something to eat that night, parking, like $40-$50 versus the whole all that money I spent. And it was just like, bro, like I should have just stayed at home. Like I could have just, I thought the out of state would have been better because I'm headlining. They put me to headline the hip hop room. So it's like, shit, I'm headlining out of state. It's a good look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even get the headline at home like that.
Right. So, you would think being out of state would be such an epic experience too, man. Like, you're across the country in California. Like, yo.
Right. That's not even like Georgia out of state. That's like literally the other side.
No, bro. That is the other side of the country, bro.
Might as well be another country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And it was just a horrible experience, bro. Like, I don't wish it on any artist because, like, I really felt discouraged. And I'm, like, one of the few people that's never felt like that when it came to this music shit. Like, but I was just, at that point, man, I was just like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. Like, these guys are going to treat me like that, you know. And they never made up for it. So that was probably the worst experience, one of the worst experiences that I had playing shows so far. To start.
What about you, Raj?
Man. The one that sticks out in my mind the most, though, is I forgot where it was downtown. But, like, so I sold, it was you were performing based on how many tickets you sold. You know how that works. Yeah. So like obviously the more tickets you sell, the better time slot you get. So like, yo, I sold a decent amount of tickets, man, like 25, 30 tickets. Bro, tell me why they had me go up. The show was from like 6 to 1. I sold 25 to 30 tickets, which I don't think them other cats sold nearly as much as me. Niggas had me go
Most
up.
People don't. Most people don't.
Bro, it's all politics at the end of the day, my G. These niggas had me go up at like 7:30 or something, bro. And on top of that, right, like nobody was there. Promoter was crappy. Dude had no communication skills. Some random girl, dude, was super drunk. And I peeped her like throughout the whole night, yo, going back and forth to the bar. Taking shots, like she would take a shot and she would chase it with some Heineken or Corona, one of them. Yo, this chick threw up all over my merch table, yo.
Damn, that's got it.
Yo, but she projectile, dude. But she wasn't near the table. She projectile vomited from across the room, bro.
Bro.
But like she was close, bro. So not only did I waste money, not only did I get a shitty time slot, somebody threw up all over my merch table, man.
Damn, bro, that's bad.
That's pretty bad.
That's definitely bad. I'm not
So
gonna
like I
lie.
lost the money off the merch too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and granted, like most of the people that bought tickets came out, so that was cool. But like still, like not when you perform, you don't only want to just have your people there. Especially when there's other artists involved, you want to perform like for other people you don't know too, because that's potential, you know, clientele, potential
Yeah.
super
You
fan.
expand your fan base, you know?
Yeah, man. So I wish I could tell y'all the spot it was at, but that was definitely definitely.
Yeah, that sucks. You definitely couldn't do nothing with that merch after that. That merch is
Nah,
gone.
man.
You couldn't wash it or nothing.
Like,
That
what
shit
you
was
gonna do?
done.
Wash it, then try to resell it? Like, bro, that's grimy. Don't do that to somebody. You can't do that, man.
Oh man, yeah, that's a bad experience, bro. I can't lie. That's definitely bad.
It was whack.
That's pretty bad.
What
What
about
about
audio?
I mean, when you're setting up shows, you have your share of really, you have your share of duds, you know? Um, one that really comes to mind just because, you know, a lot of things that have to do with like what your expectations are, right? If you're just like you're really like amped up for a specific event and then it just totally falls flat, you're just like, wow, this is like not what I pictured like at all. And it was part of the Split was there. We went out to the Northwest for a tour.
uh
Just take
My
a
bad.
take a snapshot.
Yeah, I want to
One
get
of
my
deep
background.
thought. But we we had this whole tour set up in the Northwest, and the one spot that I was like most excited for was Seattle, right? Because everyone I know who has spent any kind of time or done any shows out there or lives out there talking about what a great art scene it is, right? You know, what a great music scene it is, and how people really support, you know, indie music out there. So I'm like, oh man, you know, we're gonna get out there into these shows. I'm probably gonna want to like move out here, you know.
hey,
And
plus we had that nice ass hotel too.
yeah, the hotel was nice. Like everything was
Yeah.
perfect. Like everything was so good. Plus we had it was like in the middle of the route too, so we had already done like a few shows, and those shows had gone really well. And like, here's the thing. So all you indie artists, if you're out on the road, you understand that you don't really have like a big fan base yet. You know, you probably have a few people here and there. You're really kind of at the mercy of those local acts actually taking that show seriously as well, as serious as you're taking it. And not one of those local acts did anything like at all. Like it was embarrassing. And the venue was cool too. Like I actually kind of liked the venue. It was like a multi-room venue. It was just like it was set up pretty cool. But we get there and there's probably like what? How many people in the room? Like 9 people in the room. That's including me, the DJ, the 3 artists that I arrived with, like the 4 local acts who were on that show, and I think that's already 8 people I just said, and then there was like a couple just like chilling in the back who, you know, God bless them, like they still follow us like on social media. They're the only fans that we made that night. But it was so like discouraging because it's like, if you're the artist over there, like you want to, if you're really trying to build with people, right? And I'm not going to put like specific names on it or anything like that, but like if you have these artists who are coming literally from one corner of the country to literally the opposite corner of the country, you know, don't you like think maybe I want to go to that corner and like do some shows? Maybe they can like help set up some stuff for me. Nah, nah. They like could not have cared any less about that event, like at all. And it was so discouraging. Split was so discouraged. He performed sitting on a stool. I'll never forget it. I was like, man, this
Bro,
dude is so lazy right now.
there was nobody. I was taking a break, man. I was hosting all the events and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just taking a break. Like I was
Oh
like,
no,
I
I
might as
get
well
it.
relax.
I get
I was
it.
like,
And I remember in the moment I was like, man, he's just so lazy right now, but I kind of understand.
there was nobody there. It was like
Yeah.
it's just us, pretty much. That's how I felt like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I feel like hip hop, man, is the only genre that has the most other musicians or rappers there. Most of these shows just to be filled up. Yep. Most of the shows that have nobody there are just filled up with other rappers, which ain't a horrible thing, but
yeah, I mean you can still build, but like you think that you're gonna be like okay, for example, like these showcase companies like Acting and Coast to Coast stuff like that, right? And I'm not trying to disparage what they do, whatever, it's their business, right? But their whole business model is we're gonna give tickets to like 50 artists and have them try to sell tickets for like $30 a piece or whatever. Each one of those artists is only gonna sell like 2 tickets because who's gonna sell $30 tickets to see like people that you don't know? You know, nobody's gonna do that. They'd rather just stay at home and watch Netflix, honestly. But
for free,
their whole business model, yeah, for free. Their whole business model is let's just tell these people they're going to perform for like 100 people, but we're not going to tell them that like 80% of them are other artists. And
right. Yeah, that's how they get you, man.
And those other artists don't even stick around, so it's always just like you still performing in front of nobody.
Yeah, they perform. Yeah, those are the artists who haven't performed yet.
But a Khris audio event does not deal with such practices.
Hopefully. I try to discourage those kind of practices.
Yeah. All right, so y'all want to do the best one? Do the best show now?
Anybody got any other bad stories?
Yeah, man. I want to talk because Trini knows what's up. When we was at the Mobb Deep show, man.
Yeah.
Like that was supposed to be an epic night, man. Like that was supposed to be. And this is the thing. It was for the most part. Like nigga, we pulled up in a stretch Rolls Royce, was it? It was a stretch Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? Like
limo.
I had the GoPro strapped to my like Freak got the limo for us. We pulled up like some VIP. We pulled out in the front, jumped out. We jumped through the back. We didn't have to wait in line. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I had like 45 people there. I think all of them were wearing my shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like that night was supposed to be epic as fuck, and like it was until I got kicked off stage. You know what I'm saying? We was rocking, man. I think for Trini actually got his verse out on one of the songs.
I was able to get my 16 off right before Mobb Deep. So like I had the mic and then they had it right after. And it's all because of Split, man. I would have never had the opportunity if it wasn't for you, man.
Yeah, them niggas kicked me off a stage for doing
hold on. You got the opportunity because he got kicked off stage, or you got the opportunity because Split just plugged you in?
He plugged me in. He was okay.
I'm just trying to understand, just make sure that we took this guy off stage, but we got to kill some time.
Nah, so this is what it is. So like we was rocking, we had a song together, and he got his verse out, and then the next song started, and I didn't even get the rap, bro, because it was the Shook Ones beat. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as the Shook Ones beat came on, they were like, so I didn't even get the rap. Trini was the last one to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if anyone's not familiar with this story, anyone who watches this and is not familiar with this story, just tell them very quickly what because you just kind of mentioned it, but like we all know what happened. But you were gonna do kind of a tribute to the artist that you're opening up for.
Yeah, so Mobb Deep, man. Like Mobb Deep, these cats, like I've been listening to them since I was young, man. Like this is we listen to Mobb Deep, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all have like Mobb Deep, the legends, bro, Prodigy and Havoc. Like I was excited to be opening up for some dudes I've been listening to for years, you know what I'm saying? So I did the tribute joint, because I was just trying to show love, like pay homage to some legendary hip hop artists that I fuck with. And it didn't work out that way, man. I guess their management was like, nah, you can't do that. They were performing it that night. It was the 20-year anniversary for Hell on Earth, and they were performing it that night. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, nah, you can't do that, man. And they kicked me off a stage. I didn't know it was a learning experience, but it was just the fact that happened in front of like 1,000 people, bro. The place was packed that night. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit happened in front of it was at least 1,000 people.
So, bro, how it happened was like, so you remember what number opener you were? You were the last.
I was the last. Yeah, I was the last opener.
So like
that played into effect as well.
They had like I want to say 4 or 5 other openers before us, and then Mobb Deep. So like from the very beginning, bro, I was in the crowd, and like I noticed that these people didn't want to hear the opener. Like they were getting. So, like, from the very first opener, they were starting to get agitated. And as each opener came on, they got a little more heated. Like, yo, we just want to see Mobb Deep, whatever. So, by the time we got on, they were already like, yo, we just want to see my beat. And then Split had a song, the Shook Ones beat. And when the Shook One beat came on, that was it. Like they were like, boo, the people were booing. And plus, like then they came down and it was like, yo, you can't play that. Then they just like cut us off, man.
Plus, as I understand the story, and this is like, I already gave a lesson to artists. This is a lesson to promoters. If you're booking a headlining act, book opening acts that are kind of like in the same vein as that headlining act.
That's what played into effect.
They don't want to hear a trap artist.
They just care about tickets. All they care about is tickets, and Split sold a bunch of tickets too.
That's why. That's the thing. I sold the most tickets. That's why I got the slot right before. I went right there. Mobb Deep went on at midnight. I went right before Mobb Deep. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is that it's like what Audio was saying. The lineup was pretty much stacked with trap artists. And then I go up and me and you are the only ones that are actually spitting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they're already over that.
Yeah, they were already over it by then because all the other artists just didn't even really fit the bill. It was just more of a like, oh, you got the money to pay? Because that was the only show in my lifetime that I've ever paid to perform on. I paid $500 and I made my money back in like a week. You know what I'm saying? But I never... Like the other artists did as well. That was one of those shows where it's like it doesn't matter who you were or how much you could perform. If you got $500, you get on that show. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the lineup was just odd in general, man, and it threw off the whole show. And then when I got up there, you know, good thing about it, I did get to speak to Prodigy and Havoc afterwards. Well, not in person, but I sent both of them a message. Prodigy didn't respond, but Havoc hit me back and was like, "Yo, you good, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know you was just trying to pay homage." You know, it is what it is. Just keep grinding. You know what I'm saying? It was good to see you up there. I was like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know, I ain't get the rock like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I got to speak to him at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, and clear it up. But it was still a shitty experience, man, because that wasn't supposed to happen, bro. Like, and everybody that bought tickets to come see me, as well as Mobb Deep, they didn't get to actually see the show like that because we got kicked off the stage. So it is what it is. It goes down in the history books.
It is what it is, man. It's all, you know, experience, you know? Yeah. At least, I mean, now you can like look back on it and like kind of laugh at it because I mean, whatever. It's past, you know, and it's a funny story at least.
Yeah, note to art. No
stage, and he would have been performing right before Mobb Deep. He probably would have met him after the show too.
Note to artists: do not perform tribute songs.
I was going to say that before you started telling the story. But I was like, let me let him tell the story first.
I didn't know, bro. I had no clue. I thought it was okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't think nothing of that shit.
It wouldn't like even. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't think about it one way or the other. You know.
Well, you know what it was is because I did when I opened up for Cuban Link or Armageddon, I did a tribute off of one of Pun's beats. But if you really think about it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't actually Pun that I was opening up for. So. But I didn't put two and two together at that time. I was just like, I didn't think nothing of it.
Man. Like I thought tributes were cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess not when you're playing the show.
Yeah. What about best show?
Best show, man. I gotta say the best show was definitely the Tech Nine concert, man. I mean, I played a lot of great shows, man. Even like both KRS-One shows were fire because they were both sold out. The Forest show was dope, but the Tech Nine show, man, it was the largest crowd that I've ever played in front of, and like just the way they embraced me, bro. I rocked the shit out. Like Tech Nine was watching the whole time. He was sitting in the crowd. And like that opened doors. Like these guys know me now from Strange Music because you know what I'm saying. I was able to play that show. Like it was just packed. It was a packed night. Like 1,100 people, I think it was. That place fits like I think 1,100 people, something like that. It was sold out though.
You had like 1,400 people there actually because I was looking. I was there that night. It was insane. And
yeah, that shit was packed.
It was insane. And yeah, man, there was so many people there. It was insanity. And yeah, but I remember even after the show, you're like talking to these dudes, you know, after the show and stuff, you know, and that stuff like that, you know, it's people. I think a lot of people they'll look at that and they'll say, okay, well, that's like the goal, you know, which don't get me wrong, that's dope. But like what you just said, that opens doors. You know what I mean? You get to that because it can open more doors.
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, I mean, I was able to play a bunch of shows with Strange Music, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I played for Merge before, like I opened up for Merge before that, but I think that show really solidified it. Like I played like at least 6 or 7 shows after that with Strange Music again. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple out of town and shit like that. And it was because of that. Like these guys kind of already knew me, so one of the things that one of the promoters told me when he was booking me was that the actual acts that come into town, they ask about the artists on the bill. Sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, he said that they ask and they have to confirm the artist before letting them on. So a lot of the times that I was actually on these shows, they sent whatever they needed to send to the other artists and were like, yo, this guy can move tickets. Check him out if you need to. They looked me up and they were like, okay, cool. So that was dope to be on that show, man, because like Tech is one of my idols. I don't know if he actually seen it, but somebody in Strange Music was like, yeah, put that guy on the bill. Everybody else that was on the show paid to perform. I didn't have to pay. But that was definitely the best show that I ever played. I mean, I played a lot of good shows, but that was the best show I ever played.
Yeah,
for sure.
Raj?
What about you, Raj?
Ironically, y'all gonna laugh, but one of my best shows was that Mobb Deep show.
That shit was fire. For the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Other than what happened, you know what I'm saying?
What happened
was fire.
to Split sucks for Split, you know?
Yeah. I mean, as a whole, you know, that sucks that happened. But I mean, like, being up there for that small moment in time and, like, while I was spitting that verse, like, just the energy was crazy. And I don't know, like, I don't know. I just felt
that many people. It's like it's that many people in front of you, bro. Like, behind the curtain, when you look out, like, because that was the second biggest show that I played besides the Tech Nine concert.
How many people was that?
That night was like 900 to 1,000 people that night. You know what I'm saying? But it was the same venue.
Man.
It was the same venue. It was venue 578, the same venue that I played the Tech Nine show.
At biggest shows as you, so it's like, I guess just being with a crowd that big is like, and plus being in there when it's empty, I don't know, just like something psychological. Like, we went for sound check and it was completely empty. Then when we went back, like, there's 1,000 people. Like, that's like from nothing to something, like, you know, like the manifestation aspect of it. But like, that's definitely one of my favorite shows. Best experience shows was early on in my career, at the Peacock Room. I don't know.
The Peacock Room was dope, man.
I know you know that spot.
Yeah.
We even rocked there before Split.
Yeah. I got booked when D2 was doing the events there. He booked me the headline one time.
Erratic. You know about that spot, Audio?
I went to one show there, and then they like renovated it to something else, and I went back.
I don't know why they got rid of it.
I went to one show there. I saw Blue.
Oh man, yeah.
Yo, Blue's dope. We have to
do like an album review episode because
Blue in Exile or whatever. I know that album's wild, but yeah, that's for another podcast. But
another episode.
I did an album release at the Peacock Room, and it wasn't a lot of people, but it was just like, I guess that was one of my first albums, and just the vibe of having people there that really rock with me and just like close people, you know.
That was a dope show. That was a dope show. It was actually a pretty decent crowd. Like, it wasn't a lot of people, but it was a decent crowd. You had a lot of support
like 30,
that night.
40 people about, I would say, but like, I didn't really. I mean, I went hard with promoting it. I can't say I didn't, but like, it's just that intimacy and just knowing people and just knowing the people that was there and just like taking pride in that project I was dropping was dope. It was real dope. So that was definitely on my top shows.
Word. What about you, Audio?
Obviously, I'm not a performer, a promoter and DJ, but from that standpoint, like I would say like there's like 2 or 3, right? And I'll just kind of like put 2 kind of like together. So, when you're like, for like when you're touring and stuff, like there's certain markets that you hit that you're like, I don't know why.
Spokane? What you going to talk about?
Certain markets just hit for some reason. Like, just the people there, they just see the flyer and they come out. And it's just like, it kind of spreads like wildfire. And then you show up and you have very, like, it's kind of like what I said with like Seattle, but the opposite, This is like you have low expectations because you just have no idea what to expect. And it ends up being like ridiculous. And yeah, Split just said one of them is Spokane, Washington, which I never really even thought about even going to Spokane, Washington in my life prior to that tour.
About Spokane, Washington. Never even heard about that.
Yeah, I never heard of it either before.
I
But
already knew the name, but I didn't know anything about it. And then like I was like, Gonzaga's there. I was like, oh, okay. I've heard of Gonzaga, the basketball school. So like I was like, all right, well, that's something that I recognize. Other than that, there was like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna shit on the town, because I'm sure it has other great attributes, but it's pretty quiet. But that show was packed, and on top of that, like aside from the turnout and like the energy of the event itself, like the artists that we met were dope, like just real like down to earth artists who just like you know just the kind of people that you want to build with, you know? And so that was fire. Before that, even the first show that we ever like sold out, like we just sold out of merch was Asheville, North Carolina. And
yo, I remember y'all telling me about that show.
Yeah.
Both times. And we went to Asheville twice. And I was like, okay, the first time I was like, all right, maybe it's just like a fluke, It was just like, we got lucky, The second time we went, there was like more people, and we had more people on the bill.
Because they really rock with hip hop, man, and that's like where we need to be. But cats that really rock with underground hip hop and really appreciate the craft.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if like all the touring that I ever do ever in my life, if I just find like 10 or 15 markets like Spokane and Asheville where like they support like that, I would just only tour those towns, honestly. Like
that's why a lot of artists, they ask before they go out. They'll be like, hey, do you guys want to see me out here? Because they don't want to go to a spot where it's going to be a ghost town.
Yeah, exactly. Established artists. I mean, there's a reason why, like, I'm in Miami, for anyone who's watching this and hasn't watched the previous episode. Indie artists do not do well in Miami for the most part. It's so hit or miss. Yeah, so a lot of artists just flat out don't come down here.
Because you got Rick Ross, you got Pitbull.
Yeah. Those are big artists. So like if it's like the big event in town, like people will show up for that, But like people don't really care about like indie music, really, Not down here. Miami doesn't do art well, doesn't do music well, doesn't even do sports well, particularly. It does events well though. So if it's like the cool thing to do, people will be there. Yeah.
The Art Basil's pretty ill.
Right, but that's not because people really care about art or music. It's just because that is like, it's the event, is Art Basel.
Yeah.
Most people don't care about art. They just show up because it's like this big event weekend, because they know that's where everyone's going to be.
So you're saying it's more for the social.
Yeah, man. It's like, it's so everyone can like, dress to the T's and everyone, can be all like, look at me, and they can put it on Snapchat or on Instagram and be like, look, I'm at Art Basel.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's really what it is.
Society anyway. I mean,
you're not lying, dude. You're not.
Yeah. But sorry, I'll get off. I'll avoid. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on that. We could do a whole social.
Into conspiracy theories.
We'll do a whole episode on my views on society and like.
Yeah.
And all that, but no.
Yo, write that one down, man. We definitely got to do one like that.
Yeah. And then aside from like those touring shows, I would say just from a promoter standpoint, I didn't like DJ the show or anything like that, but just from a promoter standpoint, shows like that I've set up, I gotta say the Ozone Hip Hop Fest is something that I'm very, very proud of. And we've had 3. We had to cancel this year, of course, because of COVID. Hopefully, things will continue to. Hopefully we can get to a good place in the next 6 months or so, and we can, do it this upcoming summer. But just like that first one that we did, and all 3 of them have been great, but just getting that first one under our belt was just what I think was huge, because, starting like an annual show sounds like great, like in concept, but you got to get that first one in, because nothing happens unless you get that first one in and it goes well, If it's shitty, then like, what's the point of continuing to do it? People are going to associate like, oh, this event that you gassed up all this time and it sucked, So that first one was just, I don't know, it was dope. We had rapper Big Pooh headlining, and anyone who knows me knows that Little Brother is like my favorite group like ever. So being able to do that show with that headliner, you know, and then the next day getting dude on a feature on one of my beats was
Hey,
like,
did we go eat tacos with them too?
what's that?
Did we go eat tacos with them after the show?
Yeah, we did actually. And
Yeah.
the funny thing about it was at the time, I think Pooh, I don't know, I hope this isn't like putting out personal information, but he's like, he was asking, at the time, I think he was like vegan. So
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, well, I don't eat meat, so I don't really want to go. Because I was like, oh, there's a good taco place. I was going to go over to Gringos Locos. Anyone who's from Orlando.
They got vegan options over there, though.
What's that?
They got vegan options over there.
Well, I didn't know if they did or not, honestly. So, but it just so happened that like right outside of Gringos Locos, which anyone who's watching this from Orlando, you know what I'm talking about when I say Gringos Locos. That place is fire. But right outside of there was a hot dog stand, and the dude was selling vegan hot dogs. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll just get a hot dog here." I'm like,
"Yo, Taco China's pretty dope too, man.
Pretty good. Like, are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah. I'll just get this."
Taco China's pretty dope too.
Where's that?
I hope y'all ever ate over there.
Nah.
Yeah, I did one time. Afro D's put me on there. Actually,
of course it got to be Afro D's.
Afro D's put me on to that. Yeah, he put me on to that place. It was pretty good.
Where's that?
It's on Mills, Chris. It's on Mills, right by
Is that the place I went like right after Uncle Lou's?
Yeah, it's like yeah. Okay, you was with us. I think wasn't you with us?
It was after that pre-show.
Yeah, I think
after the Ozone the Hip Hop Fest pre-show.
I want to go to a pre-show, man.
I want to go to
a show. I'll go see anybody right now, man.
I know, for
real.
Bro,
did y'all see Common was downtown not too long ago?
No.
I had no clue, bro, and I missed it. The night of the day of those battles, Common was in town performing downtown.
What?
You ain't
outdoors.
Where?
Outdoors. I don't know, somewhere downtown outdoors.
Bro,
I was like,
in the last month down here in Miami, we've had, and I mean, this is gonna be timestamped. You know, it's November 2nd, 2020. We're still dealing with COVID. In the last like month and a half down here in Miami, there's been Dave East, Jadakiss, Styles P, and Cameron.
How are they not coming to Orlando?
Back weekends. And I'm like, and I think it was the same promoter putting it on. And I'm just like, I just want to do one like little like small whatever show, man. I don't know who this is, but man, they're just like going like rapid fire, just headliner after headliner.
I think Ciroc from Rhymesayers is supposed to be here or came here or something like that. But a lot of people are boycotting Rhymesayers, man, because they're saying like how they haven't been giving their females shine. They've been only really promoting the dudes. And you know, those, I don't know, I might lose some viewers. Those feminists.
I don't mean this in a disrespect to any female artists or anything like that. If you're dope, you're dope, honestly, as far as I'm concerned. But people need to understand that, like, and I don't know all the details of that story, but just as a general view, label and everyone at Rhymesayers is pretty dope. So this isn't like Atlantic Records, you know, pushing trap artists. Like,
if I could sign with one label, if I had an option, it would probably be Rhymesayers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're pretty, you know, true to the art, you know. A label's job is to push, you know, who's hot, you know, just as a general rule. So if everyone on your label is dope, like from a pure musical perspective, I don't mean like dope, like, oh yeah, you know, they're on the radio a lot or whatever. If they're just purely artistically, they're dope, then you're mainly gonna be behind the artists who
you're gonna go with who's on fire. You're like, yeah, right. Everybody obviously they gotta be dope, or you wouldn't sign them to your label. But like you're pushing who's on fire right now. Like, yeah, you could really.
But let's be. But
because that's the artist that's keeping your business up, you know.
Let's be realistic on that aspect, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, some people might not like this, but it's a fact, right? It's literally the same thing, the same concept as the NBA and the WNBA. who's coming to watch what? You know what I'm saying? Why do you think NBA stars get paid more than the women that play basketball? Because more people are watching men play basketball. You know what I'm saying?
What, Split? You're just
Don't get me wrong.
chauvinistic.
There probably is a sexist aspect of it. Don't get me wrong. There probably is like a sexist aspect of it that where some dudes are just like, nah, I can't respect her because I don't respect female MCs or whatever, you know. But
well, there's a lot of people that think like that. That's the problem.
There's more dope male artists than there are dope female artists, you know, and that's just nature of like there's more male rappers than there are female rappers. That's just, you know, if we just do it by the numbers, off the percentages, there's gonna be more dope male artists than dope female artists. You know what I mean? That's not a slight, you know?
Yeah, that's why they get overlooked. It's a little bit more difficult for a female MC. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that they aren't as dope, but it's definitely a little bit more difficult for a female MC. I mean, well, it depends, right? It depends, bro. Because if the female is bad, she can make it without really doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Because she's pretty as hell. All she got to do is show a titty. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she in there.
Then there's the opposite side. Like, there's some really dope, not good-looking femcs that are, like, they're not good-looking, but, like, they're fire.
Yeah, so it's harder for them.
They're a lot better than a lot of dude MCs that I know. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, they should rightfully be getting pushed.
Yeah, it's harder. It's harder for them, though, man, just because of that whole, you know what I'm saying, sex sells, man. And if the female looks good, then it's easier to push them. Even if they're dope, man, it's tougher. It is tougher for women MCs.
Even in the underground. You know what? Even in the underground, you know, I like when you said that, like the looks thing, I was like, well, that would apply mostly to the mainstream, but like there's still that, what do you call it? That stereotype or that I don't know what the word is, but in the underground, you know what I mean? Where like you don't look as good, like you don't get as much shine, which is
I mean,
sad.
it's a sad reality, man. That's the thing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Double standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I personally don't care what a female MC looks. I guess she's dope. She's dope. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that a female MC that looks like physically attractive, like just beyond gorgeous, versus someone that's not as physically attractive is gonna catch your eye a little bit more than that female that's not. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to Justina Valentine before I listen to, and she ain't even like the greatest. You know what I'm saying? But like I could visually watch her, preferably over. I can't even think of nobody right now, but you know what I'm saying, let's just say a less attractive female MC. You know what I'm saying? Like I could sit there and watch Justina Valentine, even though I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the biggest fan. Like I could check her out more than anything. It is a double standard. It just sucks for them. You know what I'm saying? But
you're
if you
right.
look bad, like I said, show a titty. If you look bad, you get in there.
I mean, you're right, and I think there's also like a predisposition, right? Just in the same way that like, you know, me and my business partner, you know, Ben Phrases, you know, when we have approached venues or different people about like, hey, we want to book a show, you know, or a hip hop act from Orlando, blah blah blah. We know that like, if you don't listen to hip hop, you probably have like this predisposition of what you think, you know, of what you assume our music is going to be, right? Just because you're assuming that it's, you know, maybe you're putting a negative connotation on it, right? So, okay, so I'm just setting the table with that as an example, right? So if you don't really like dig on music and you don't know who Jean Grey is, and you don't know who Rhapsody is, or you don't know who Snow the Product is, right? Let's just say you don't know who these people are, and your only reference point for a female rapper is Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion, you know, Cardi B, you know, you're kind of assume that every other female rapper that someone puts in front of you is going to be like that until you're proven wrong.
Well, those are people that have no idea what hip hop is
about.
Course. You know what I mean?
Of course, but also there's people who are making decisions like, you know, venues, promoters, and what have you, who are making decisions that would otherwise put some of these dope artists on that aren't going to give that person a look, you know, because they're just like, well, no, we don't really want this watered down product or this like sexualized music or whatever, you know, whatever their dispute is, you know, whatever whatever the stigma is that they're just applying, you know, towards that type of artist, you know, fair or not, that's just what's happening.
You're such a male chauvinist.
And I just support dope. If you're dope, you're dope, you know?
Yeah, facts. I agree with that, man. But like, there's the way the masses see things, then there's the way the free thinkers see things.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't always
It's
end
a,
up.
it's a, I mean, it's a marketability thing, though, man. In the industry, in the entertainment industry, it's kind of always been like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're lucky to make it in if you're not that attractive, male or female. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really gotta just put it like this. You really gotta depend on your skill. Then, you know what I'm saying? Like, versus, somebody that's just attractive. That's just the entertainment industry, man. You know what I'm saying? Sex sells, like sex appeal sells. You know what I'm saying? If somebody looks good and they're actually good at what they do, let's put them on. And then they'll give somebody that's not even that great the chance just because they look good. You know what I'm saying? So
Pretty much.
it is tougher for the uglier motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Like ourselves and shit. Niggas said, speak for
Speak
yourself.
for yourself.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm not a rapper, so you know what? I don't have to worry about that.
Man,
Yeah, it's tough, bro. I can't get up there and take my shirt off yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, see what I'm saying?
All this quarantine time to work out.
So I've not been doing any of that.
You got to cut out that fast food.
yeah. Fast.
So yeah, man. As far as like the show, back to the subject on the shows, you know what I'm saying? Like, for the most part, man.
You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Chris,
for the most part,
say about the subject, man.
Oh man,
I love talking about shows, man. I love talking about shows. So
I mean, honestly, I could talk about this shit for hours. You know what I'm saying? But like,
I mean, we can have a whole show.
Especially where we're at.
We can have a whole series about shows.
Yeah,
honestly,
especially where we're at with COVID. Like, I feel like I need to get this off my chest. Like, I
feel like this is just gonna turn into a spin-off podcast with Split.
like you know what I'm saying? Like,
shows and like, oh, it'd be dope if we did this kind of show. Oh, I'm gonna talk about this show that I did. Like, you could do like a whole series on this.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. Like, everybody sees. I don't really go live at all like that. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever been on my social media, like, I hardly ever go live. So it's like, people always like they sit at home and they vicariously see me performing and doing these things, but they don't actually see what happens at the shows. They don't hear the things I hear. They don't get a lot of that. So it's like, there's so many stories and things that I could just mention that people never probably knew about. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's just crazy to me. But I just wanted to talk about like what Trinity was talking about earlier, like with the virtual shows. We were talking about that before we got on this conversation. Like, I've thought about it, man. I've thought about it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Because I know people want to see it. I've had people message me like, "What's up, man? You gonna rock? You gonna do a live set?" And it's just like, I don't know, man. When you play as many shows as I have, like the bigger shows that I have, like that energy, man. There's a lack of energy there as far as like playing the virtual shows. So like, I don't have the motivation to do that. You know what I mean? So I couldn't do that. So I'm just waiting for concerts to come back around and like really just wishing and hoping that this shit works out sooner than later, man. Cause like, I'm itching, bro. I'm itching to get on that stage. I know a lot of other artists are. I know people in general are missing concerts. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like, it's not much going on, man. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I just wanted to talk about that whole like virtual aspect. Like, I can't really do it, man. It's just not for me.
Like I mentioned earlier, we had to cancel the fest this year, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, why don't you do, a live stream or whatever?" And it's just like, I don't want to shit on anyone who does that. I don't mean it to come off disrespectful or anything like that. It's just not the same to me. It's just not the same. And from like a promoter standpoint, if you really, really want people to like check something out, I just feel like you're going to go through all this effort. You're going to invest the time and money into something. Maybe you invest less money because it's virtual, right? But you're still investing something into it. And I just don't see the payoff being the same as it would be with and I don't mean money payoff. I mean just like an overall product, payoff.
But I mean, the other alternative is to not do anything. The other alternative is just to wait until we can do live shows.
Yeah, and I have to find other ways to get my musical fix. That's why we started a podcast. Because I don't know.
I'm with you guys on that. It's not the same. It's not the same. And I miss the live show, the live feeling. I feed off the energy of the crowd. But eventually, I was telling Split earlier, like I'm gonna have to do some virtual shows. Just not just out of pure necessity and like the fact that I feel like I have to. I know I don't have to, but like that's the closest I could get to a show right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like if it carries on for too long, eventually, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to like break into that and start doing it. But
yeah,
as of right now, man, I think I can hold out, even though I am missing shows like crazy. Like, I mean, that's where I got most of my success from, man. I'm not the artist that dropped a bunch of content, man. I played a bunch of shows, and
Yo, but I heard venues are like letting people in little by little.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're
some
doing
places.
shows.
Yeah, some places are having shows. I've seen a couple shows going on. It's just the whole like. My thing is like you go play a show and then people looking at you like this fucking guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you're part of the problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I just want to fucking play, bro. Like I just want.
Then it becomes a whole political thing. Like
I know, bro.
You don't care about other people. You're out here trying to draw crowds that can potentially spread this virus. You don't care about anybody but yourself. And you're
pretty much.
You're supposed to be a conscious rapper, right? You're
not. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like I just want to play, y'all. Like I'm not trying to get anybody sick or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But then the people hit you with the. That's why they do it live. That was social distancing. Like, bro, come on, bro.
I've seen him win. Perform, man. He spits on a lot of people when he's performing.
I be spitting for real. Legit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit happens.
Yo, Split, I hope you don't mind me telling me about this, but like back in the day, a couple cats would call you Spit instead of Split.
So still, even if somebody don't really know me like that, they'll be like SplitSoul, and I'm like, it's Split, bro. Split.
Like that didn't even sound right. Like I mean, they actually
SplitSoul. You know what I mean? I guess it could work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, that shit still happens. Like I get off a stage at a show where nobody actually knew me that night. They just see me perform, and they'll be like, "Yo, SplitSoul, you killed it." I'm like, bro, I just said my name like 5 times on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like. My shirt says it, bro. You still saying the shit wrong. Whatever, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's what happens, bro. That's what happens when you're nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? We're still working. You're still working, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, man, shit's been wild this year, man. Played that show in January, sold out, and it was just like I thought everything was gonna be straight then. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because we had that show, and then we had the Trinity. We had that other joint in February.
What?
At the festival at Lakeland, the Virtue Music Fest. So I was just like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We started off the year, like, I started off the year at that KRS-One show, and then it was just like, oh, sweet, man, we're going to play this festival, and then...
Those ain't happening for a while.
Yeah, and then after that was just nothing.
It was all like, 2020 is our year.
Yeah, and then it's just like, yeah, right.
That's so funny. They actually made a meme like that, like, on one side it says 2020, walking in 2020, and you're walking like mad confident, suited up in your best gear. Then the other half of it was like in March of 2020, and people got like masks on and like
yeah, bro. It was like an instant
depressed.
This shit just came out of nowhere, bro. Like everything was just like out. Like nobody knew. Like there was nothing we could do, bro. Nothing.
It came out of nowhere for us, but these people already knew about this thing for like mad long, but Trump decided not to. I don't want to talk about politics right now, but man,
that's a whole other episode.
I'll tell you right now, though, man.
Episodes where we're in the flow, like that's an episode. That's like 2 episodes.
You know who's really hurting right now, man? Is the people that actually, the artists that actually live off of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we weren't living off of it. We just playing shows when we could, and you know what I'm saying? Like, doing what we can do it. But the artists that actually made it, and like, artists make most of their money off of merch, bro, and like shows, live shows. They're not making money off of streams like that. They're not making money off of YouTube views like that. You know what I'm saying? They make a couple dollars here and there, but most of the money was coming from touring. These artists cannot tour now, so they have to like. A lot of them had to create other avenues. You know what I'm saying? I know they're hurting more than anything because I wasn't even dependent on the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know they're like, fuck, man. This shit sucks.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing, man. Like you said, for people that are making a living off it. But in a way, like there's always a negative and positive everything. The positive thing is making people step up their social media game and their internet marketing skills, because that's what it is now, man.
That's what it should have did for me, man. I'm actually using it less than I was before. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. Even though I know it's necessary.
She'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back. Things will normalize a little bit. You know, it's just a matter of just like when, you know? So you just got to be patient with it. And I'll get back to setting up shows. Just a matter of like, you know, when things normalize, Trust me, I'll be one of the first.
I mean, we was excited about the fest, man. We were waiting. You know what I'm saying? We was like, man, hopefully
Oh
it can
no,
work out.
we had everything set up. Everything was set up. It was just like, okay, do we announce now? Nah. So let's wait like a month, and then we'll announce in like a month. Assuming things get better. And then a month goes by. It's like, we'll wait a little bit longer, and we're getting kind of close here.
Then it like spiked up again, and now it's keep spiking up, whatever.
It spiked up in like July. It's like, yeah, this isn't happening.
Yeah, it's better that we didn't do it, man. If we would have did it, it just wouldn't have been a good look. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah. All right, Split. Yo, thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Appreciate y'all having me.
An honor, dog. Pleasure. Had a great episode. I really feel like this episode flowed well. Let the people know where they can find you. Plug yourself in, bro. Plug yourself in.
SplitSoul, man. SplitSoul. For those who do not know, you can pretty much just find me anywhere like that. MC SplitSoul or SplitSoul, and yeah, that's pretty much just find me anywhere like that. I haven't been dropping much content. I got some videos on YouTube that I dropped this year. A couple joints on my Instagram. I haven't really been doing much work this year. You know what I'm saying? I kind of been chilling, just working, paying my bills, getting by through COVID, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you can find me online. I'm still on there whenever I get on there.
Once a week.
Yeah. I hardly been posting shit, man. Like, ain't nothing going on. Like, I feel like my life is at a standstill. It's not, but I feel like it is.
I feel like this would be the time to be posting more, and like I'm the same. Like,
yeah, I know.
Active, like.
I mean, I think about it. I'm like, man, I know I should be trying a lot harder right now, but it's just like, I don't know. I just kind of, I'm taking a moment to like kind of just breathe, man. I've just been Netflixing and chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just chilling right now, man. When things get back to normal, I'm gonna go super hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll start picking up before then, but it is what it is. Yeah, y'all can find me if you want. I'll try to keep you entertained.
What you got going on audio?
Yeah, you just find me, anything that's Khris Audio, that's KHRIS Audio. All your social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Find anything Soundbreaking Music or soundbreakingmusicllc.com. Make sure to, follow us Facebook and Instagram for the podcast page, Elevated Audio Podcast. Yeah.
Facts. Y'all already know Roj Elevate, ROJELEV8. Find me everywhere. Don't get confused. The Split was calling me Trini. It was Trini. Now it's Roj.
Oh yeah. I'm always, bro.
Artist formerly known as Trini.
I still got you on my phone as Blaze, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
I've changed my name like 80 times. Don't ask me why. I guess I'm
Yeah, you're still on my phone as Trini Elevate. I don't think I'm changing that anytime soon. I'm not gonna lie.
But for now, until I change my name again, find me on Roj Elevate, ROJELEV8, Instagram, Facebook. Working on a new project. It's called Chapters and Verses. So be on the lookout for that. I plan on doing a whole YouTube series with it, So Chapters and Verses, be on the lookout for. I don't got a date for it, but remember that name, Chapters and Verses. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, make fun of us if you want. We're open to everything. And just engage with us. Thanks.
Peace.
Peace.